Blog Talk Radio.
Warning. What you are about to hear are the views of Travis Pope and the Oklahoma Tomcat and is not supported by the government. Agreeing with the hosts of this show could cause you to be targeted by the government and government agencies. You have been warned.
Good morning, Kentucky. We are running a little late this morning. The other two will be on shortly. But just bear with us for a second. We're trying to get everybody on. But everybody's waking up to the election results, and there's going to be some people mad, some people happy. Dan, Travis, is that you?
Yeah.
All right.
Good morning,
yeah, Miss Producer.
Indiana.
Yeah, Miss Producer just sent me a message. I'm sorry. So I told her to get on the studio so she could control the studio because you know how, depending on where I am, how my connection works when I'm on the phone.
Yeah.
But we're trying to get everybody together. Hopefully she'll be on here shortly.
Yeah,
I told her to call in as guest.
Everybody was partying too hard last night, and some of them just was in the dumps, so they weren't partying very hard. They were drinking their sorrows away, but.
Yeah. Hey, before we get into that, though, I have another story. In California, a teacher punched a student. I mean, they got into a fist fight.
Well, it is California. It is California, and I probably would have punched the kid too.
Oh, no. Never excuse for a man to, I mean, other than self-defense, which that shouldn't be done in anger either. It should be more done in, hey, you're trying to defend yourself. But in my book, women and children are off limits when it comes to getting into a fist fight. And what this student did before then definitely does. What this student did definitely didn't result deserve, a fist fight either. That teacher had no business laying a hand on that kid. Actually, the teacher could have gotten very smart. Instead of going, risking going to jail, which is where the teacher may find himself.
Yeah.
He could have gone a different route because this is in Los Angeles, California. So, a lot of liberals out there, claim they're against racism and all that. The teacher was black. The student was white. And the student used racial slurs against the teacher. So, I mean, the teacher could have gotten real smart on this one, instead of risking losing his job, which looks like he will do, and going to jail. He could have used, the student is a racist, to his benefit.
Oh, so student was racist, huh?
Yep. I mean, the teacher could have used that. I mean, the student was way out of line. I mean, what the student did. Well, all was over. So the student wasn't wearing the proper uniform for school. So the teacher asked the student to leave the class, and the student refused. Called the teacher racist names, and then threw a ball at the teacher. And that's when the teacher ended up throwing the first punch at the student, and they got into a fist fight. The student ended up going to the hospital for injuries, non-life-threatening injuries, and the teacher got arrested, and he posted bail and is due to be in court this month. I think the 20th. Saturday, okay. Yeah, my my daughter Abigail read the story and did a little thing. She's going to do a video on it. But yeah, it was. I'm sorry. In my book, I mean, you actually, for anyone, I would not throw the first punch if someone calls me names, and I'll just debate them until they feel like committing suicide. Hey, the producer's on.
I've been on. I've been listening to the story. Yeah. Sorry.
Someone else decided to show up.
It's so weird because it was only a couple minutes. I woke up like I had a bad dream or something. I was like, oh no.
Give Oklahoma Tomcat a heart attack this morning.
I'm like trying to contact everybody. I'm like, what's going on? I have a list of things for the show today, and it's a major show because we just had the elections, and it's like I'm like.
And I don't want to hear it because I've been trying to call you since early this morning 2 or 3 times, and you never answered the phone. Yep. Oh, you hear crickets?
Uh-oh.
What? Will he lose signal or something?
Uh-oh.
Is it just me and you now, Edith?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, lost him.
All right. Well, maybe he'll come back after he gets rubs the poop off his forehead from that last one.
I was confused. I was like, uh-oh, something popped up on my screen.
Yeah, just keep the show going. He called in and got it going. So, but anyways, we had elections last night and some upsets, some people out there crying, boo-hooing, and some victories, some flips. Apparently Edith drank too much last night in her sorrows. That's why she's late.
Oh, no. No, don't tell me bad news. Don't tell me bad news. Oh, man, I better not hear that Cuomo won.
In New York, I think he did. Let me pull it up.
He was winning. When I looked, he was winning. And I was like, no way. He is from the mafia.
Well, all of New York is mafia, ain't it?
Yeah. Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah. Let's see. By states, where's New York at? There it is, New York. Yeah, pretty much New York is still blue. Let's see. Nothing's changed. Let's see. Yep, Andrew Cuomo won by 59%.
Oh, well. Now I can complain because I did vote.
Yeah, the Republican candidate come in 36%. And then the Green Party, well, hey, at least Larry Sharp come in with 1.6%, so they keep ballot access up there.
Yeah. Jay, he voted for Larry Sharp.
Yeah, well, he's one of the 90,664 people that voted for him.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. You know,
Yeah.
we step back and we think, well, that ain't very high. Well, for a Libertarian Party and a Libertarian governor in New York, that is pretty good. It means that we've made a headway in the elections there. So we understand that fighting for the libertarian ideas and policies is an uphill battle because is that you or Oklahoma Tomcat?
No, that's me. I got plugged in my phone.
With 90,000, you know, and being it's an uphill battle because we got to fight against the establishment brainwashing that they've done on the majority of the populace, and it's not easy to get past. You know, it's not easy to get past, but 90,000 out of 5 million votes. That's not bad.
No, that isn't.
You know. Good thing is Beto O'Rourke did not win Texas they spent $100 million on him in Texas trying to get him to win. He almost won. It was close. It was very close. I think Ted Cruz got like 51%, and Beto O'Rourke got like 49%, 49.8%, something like that. So it was a real close race on him. And then the money the liberals spent in Florida didn't work. They didn't get their knight in shining armor in Florida voted in. He lost. They're socialists that wants to raise taxes. I mean, really, Florida is touted as one of the lowest taxes in the country, and you don't run.
Oh, wow.
And you don't run. You don't run on raising taxes and adding an income tax on state income tax on your checks. But the sad part is that was a real close race as well. So I'm sitting here thinking, this guy literally came out and said he wants to raise taxes, institute a state income tax, and the people still voted for him. You're voting for the freaking government to take more money away from you. Here, just take our money. Wow! What the heck? I was listening to Status Radio this morning, Breitbart News, and everybody's up in arms about the Florida initiative to allow felons to start voting in the state of Florida. And I think I'm the only freaking radio show. I think we're the only freaking radio show that has said that felons can vote in majority of the states. I think now since Florida has initiated their now felons can vote in Florida. Now that they have initiated it, I think it's 48 states now that allow felons to vote. Texas is included. I was listening to the radio this morning, Breitbart News, and had a Texan call in, said that he was a felon, but he's not able to vote. I'm like, dude, why don't you just freaking Google this stuff, man? Google it. Because according to state law in Texas, I'm going to read this to any of our listeners. Individuals convicted of felony are ineligible to vote while incarcerated, on parole, or on probation in Texas. Okay? Voting rights are automatically restored upon completion of all supervised release. Ex-offenders should re-register to vote. So, in other words, once you are off your paper, off of supervised sentence, parole, probation, once you have completed your sentence, you should re-register to vote. That's in Texas. If you live in Maine, you never lose your right to vote. Whether you're in jail, prison, whatever. Jail, prison, parole, you have the right to vote no matter what. And that's in Maine. And the people are freaking out over this situation because they think that it's going to turn Florida blue. Okay, then why didn't it turn Texas blue? It makes no sense. Am I still on?
You're still on.
Oh, I don't hear you giggling. You got to at least giggle sometimes so I know I'm still here. So now they're all worried that Florida's going to turn blue because felons are now allowed to vote. Okay, that is a possibility. Want me to tell you why that's a possibility?
Why?
Because most of the felons are in jail because of Republican laws. You know, those laws that are preventing people from smoking their pot.
Oh.
And that's the truth. That is the truth. Most of the laws, and that's what I've been trying to say to a lot of the Libertarian Party members is get them felons in Texas to start voting. If they're off paper, they can vote. And I said we can make the argument. We can get in front of this. Okay, we can get in front of this by saying, hey, it was liberal and Republican laws that put you in jail in the first place. It was their laws that they've instituted that put you in jail. Vote for us, and we'll get you a pardon for nonviolent offenders, victimless crimes. We'll get you pardons. Vote for us. Libertarians need to get in front of that. but they won't listen to me. And
I didn't know. I didn't know about the. You could vote for a different party when you're. See, I'm a Republican, and I didn't know you could vote for a different party.
I don't know the rules in New York. You'll have to get with your brother on that, but I think you can only vote for your party during the primary season. But in the general election, you can vote for whoever. I think that's how it goes. I'm not sure how each state is different on their law, on their rules and regulations on voting. And I guess with that, we'll go to break.
Yeah, we can go break.
All right, take us a break. Take us a break there, producer. And if you want to call in as host,
Oh yeah,
while...
I'll do that.
All right.
The Liberty National Network.
Hello, libertarian friends and independent thinkers. This is Richard Castaldo for Congress. I want to thank Oklahoma Tomcat and the broadcast for letting me share a little bit about myself. I am running for Congress in Oklahoma's 2nd Congressional District, and I appreciate your consideration. First, let me tell you that I strongly believe in the non-aggression principle, and that philosophy guides everything I would do in politics and Congress, including my voting. And what it means is that I do not believe in or advocate the initiation of force as a means of achieving political or social goals. In other words, consent is everything. If there's no consent, then I'm not going to approve it. My platform includes the elimination of taxpayer funding for abortions, restore and protect the Second Amendment, protect farms and small businesses by eliminating needless regulations and property taxes, abolish federal income tax and propose the fair tax, abolish the IRS and Federal Reserve, protect cryptocurrencies from federal persecution, and restore constitutional ballot access through major reform and abolishment of the Federal Elections Commission, cut government spending and pass balanced budgets, end the war on drugs and the prosecution of victimless crimes, deschedule cannabis completely, maintain and strengthen a strong military, and prioritize our veterans, end global interventionism and unconstitutional wars, eliminate federal restrictions on individual charity, privatize marriage and adult consensual relationships, abolish the Department of Education and privatize Head Start through kindergarten, defend Native American lands from federal interference, protect and reinforce all parental rights, remove government sponsorship of LGBTQ discrimination and all racism, especially involving law enforcement and federal courts, restore religious and atheist liberty on public property and for businesses, deregulate religious organizations and churches. I think it's so important that we send someone to Congress this year who believes in individual liberty and the Constitution. Just to tell you a little bit more about myself, I was born in Tulsa, Oklahoma in December of 1981 and grew up in Grove in the Grand Lake region. I graduated from Grove Public High School in 2000 and Oklahoma Wesleyan University in 2010. I have traveled to several countries and across the U.S. in ministry, both as a worship leader and a missionary. I've worked in retail and customer service for years, including as a store manager for a local Radio Shack. I'm now a husband and dad, a street pastor with Grand Lake Life, and a political activist dedicated to serving people wherever I see the opportunity. I'm running to represent our Congressional District 2 of Oklahoma in the U.S. House of Representatives because I want to remind Washington, D.C. that your life matters. I am not a politician. I would have no strings attached. I would be a fiercely independent voice for you, the people. I have the principles and courage to stand up against the establishment of both the Democrats and Republicans. I'll work tirelessly to restore your individual freedoms to live, to love, and to worship, or not to worship, the way you choose. As a father of 2 toddlers and native Oklahoman, I am concerned about our future as a society. We are all being crushed by the aggression of government, and it continues to damage our educational opportunities, our criminal justice system, our economy, our health care, the daily living of everyday people. As a proud member of the Libertarian Party of Oklahoma, I believe in a constitutional government that values individual liberty. The other political parties are consistently arguing about which laws they want to burden you with, but that's not the Libertarians. We want limited government and self-responsibility. We want to get rid of over-regulation and too many laws, because that is how freedom thrives. I believe in a federal government that is restrained by the Constitution. I believe in restoring and protecting your full Bill of Rights, from the Second Amendment to the First Amendment to the Fourth Amendment, your rights to privacy. I believe in the power of capitalism. The free markets provide the best opportunity for all of society to succeed. My votes will be made public, and I will be transparent about every decision. My Republican and Democratic opponents, Mark Wayne Mullen and Jason Nichols, will be owned by their political establishments, by the swamp and the lobbyists. But I will not be. Again, I will be fiercely independent. If you are tired of the corruption, if you're tired of the power struggle between Republicans and Democrat politicians who think their lives matter more, and if you're ready for constitutional rights to be restored, please send me to Congress. I humbly ask for your support and your vote on November 6, 2018, and in your early voting. I hope that you will make sure that your voice is heard and that you will share with your friends and family about Castaldo for Congress. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Again, this is Richard Castaldo, and I approve this message. God bless.
Miss Producer is also known as Miss Giggles. You are listening to Political TNT on the Liberty National Network. If you want to be part of the show, dial 914-338-1906 and then press 1.
Oh, welcome back. It's really cold up here in Indiana today. It's 36 degrees and cloudy. It looks like it's about to pour down the snow on me. Fluff down the snow on top of me. But anyways, it's pretty cold up here. But anyways, Richard Castaldo, the one that you just heard on our, I guess we're going to have to change our advertisements now, ain't we? I guess go back to the if they're still there, go back to the original ones. But anyways, he did not win. Richard did not win, but he did get 1.9% of the votes. That's 4,136 people voted for him in his district.
Oh.
Is that the Oklahoma Tomcat I hear in the background now?
No, he's not on.
Oh, it's still you making all that noise and that racket?
It's still me.
Chris Powell in Oklahoma got 3.4%. Libertarian, 40,768 votes. He was one running for governor in Oklahoma. And let's see, Oklahoma. Well, I'm telling you, Oklahoma, y'all don't know what the heck y'all are doing. I have completely figured it out. Because they voted for expand the crime victims' rights, while I believe that the victims should have rights, but I don't think they should have any more rights than anybody else. The reason why, because the Constitution itself says we have the each and individual person in the United States has the right to face their accuser. Okay.
Yes.
I read up on the victims' rights law that they were trying to pass in Oklahoma, which they passed. Now, the victims don't have to show up to court to face their accused.
Oh, that's cool.
How do you feel about that?
What? Not face? Wait, what do you mean? I think it's terrible. I think it's terrible that you'd have to face your face who's which one? They don't. He does. Okay, say a guy did someone wrong. They don't have to face the person that's accusing them?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it all depends on. It should be depending on the person that is accusing.
But
how would
you determine that though? Let's say, okay, let's take this this past Kavanaugh case, okay? He had the right to face his accuser. His accuser was accusing him of trying to rape her when he was in high school, okay?
Okay.
All right. And we know it was false. It was all fake. There was nothing was connecting the dots. Everything that she was saying did not match. Nothing was being matched. But under Oklahoma law now, he wouldn't have the opportunity to face his accuser.
No,
because all she would have to do is say, "Well, I don't feel good about facing my accuser. I'm not showing up," and she wouldn't have to show up because that's her right now.
Oh, that's.
So they would have just prosecuted Kavanaugh off of her word instead of him being able to face her and cross-examine her.
Yeah, that's not right.
You see what I'm saying now? It doesn't matter if the guy it doesn't matter if the guy is guilty of sin or innocent at all. Okay? Now they don't have to face their accuser. The accuser does not have to show up to court and face the person they accused. Because
no, I
the
don't.
new rights that extended.
I disagree with that.
You see what I'm saying now? And it's all because they want to protect the victim. But how do you know they're a victim? He or she's a victim, unless you're allowed to face your accuser, cross-examine them. Now the person might be guilty. Okay, that's the part of liberty. That's part of our rights. You have to accept the bad from the good. Okay. But because they're trying to look out for the feelings of the victim, they're allowing them not to show up to court, and all they're doing is take their testimony.
Mm-hmm.
Their testimony. Now they'll probably go to a grand jury room and all that and do a testimony behind closed doors, but there's no way of cross-examining them. You should be able to face your victim. That is the constitutional right. My right is to face the accuser. I have that right. and it's not just Oklahoma. I tried to warn Oklahoma about doing that, but like I said, they're not too bright up there, I guess. But I can't just pick on Oklahoma because I've done some research, and Texas had done this very same thing back in the 80s. This law that's been going around was created by some lawyer out of California, and it's been going through every state and stuff like that, and he done it back in the 80s, and Texas passed a similar law in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what are they thinking? Our constitutional right says I have the right to face my accuser.
I could see if you got raped and the guy was guilty, right? And you couldn't deal with being, face to face with him.
But see that's the thing. How you don't prove he's guilty?
Yeah, I know, but sometimes I don't know. I think that would be kind of hard.
Yeah, talk with me on it. Come on, talk with me. Talk with me on it. How would you prove? What are the steps to prove that someone was raped?
Well, you got rape kits, and you got.
Okay.
If there's enough evidence, then the victim's lawyer.
What kind of evidence? Okay, what kind of evidence are we looking? Because you say a rape kit. Okay, what does a rape kit do? All a rape kit does is collect semen.
Right. And then wherever it happened,
Okay, what if it was consensual and she was just lying to keep from getting in trouble with her parents?
Well, they can determine that. But if it was a legit rape or anything, a violent crime.
Now there's ways to detect that they're about rape. Okay. If there's a forced entry into the vaginal canal, it will show tears. There's certain ways. Okay, I understand that part. But the way they've got these laws now, all the girl has to do is say he raped me, and she never has to show up to court, even if it was consensual.
Yeah.
You see where I'm getting at now?
Yeah, but on the other hand, so it's like everything else, There's a good thing about it and a bad thing about it.
Yeah. Now they just take the rape kit and say, well, evidence shows that you raped her. Well, what evidence? Well, your semen was found in her. Okay, that means it could have been consensual. What is the evidence? Well, the victim is not here to testify. Why isn't the victim here to testify? Well, under this new expand crime victims' rights, she doesn't have to show up. Oh, so you're going to convict me on a rape kit that says my semen was in her, and I'm telling you it was consensual, but you have no other proof that there was a rape involved, just to her testimony that she done in a private room with no cross-examination. You didn't go quiet on me, did you?
No, I'm just thinking about the situation because they would have to do it in the private room or whatever. She would have to, or have the guy leave the room or something, the courtroom, when she testifies. I don't know.
Yeah, that's just my point right there. Is they're under the Constitution. We have the right, all of us, even you. I mean, okay. What if some dude accused you of rape?
I would laugh.
I understand,
No,
but think about it. Think about it. There's no way to prove that you can rape a guy. No way whatsoever.
Right, there isn't.
But because he accused you and he doesn't have to show up to court, they're just going to go by his testimony.
Yeah,
I mean, since I twisted it on you now, didn't it?
Yeah.
And regardless of what people say, men are sexually assaulted every year. They just don't come out and say it.
Yeah, I do believe that. I mean, the only reason I would laugh about the rape thing is on a guy is that.
Yeah,
I've never heard it.
What? Yeah, what?
I never heard of a guy coming out and saying he's been raped, sexually assaulted. Yes, I've heard that. Yep.
Well, here's something. When I was working for the prison unit out there in West Texas, okay, there was a guy that was begging to get off. It was the Preston E. Smith unit out in West Texas. He had been begging and begging and begging to get off that unit and go somewhere else. They wouldn't do it. Okay? Well, he had to go to a medical facility. He had to go to a medical unit for some medical needs. Well, on his way back, he kept begging them, don't take me back to the Smith unit. Don't take me back to the Smith unit. And none of them would listen to him. Well, as soon as they got through the gate and they took the handcuffs off of them, off the inmates, he took off running and jumped on the fence and started trying to climb up the fence, razor wire and all. He was not one bit worried about his life. Okay.
Oh wow, yeah.
What would drive a man to do that? Anyways, on his way up, the guard that was in the guard tower shot the dude's leg off. Okay, shot him in the leg. They had to amputate it. Blew his leg off. Okay. Come to find out, he was being repeatedly raped daily in prison, and he was just in there for DWI.
Oh my God.
He was in there for DWI. You know, he didn't kill nobody or anything. He got a little 5-year sentence for DWI, and they charged him for attempted escape. They blew his leg off, and turns out that he was being raped daily inside the dormitory.
Jeez.
And this happened this happened when I was working on the Smith unit. So, you know, well, that's just prison. People say, well, yeah. But my point is that the guy didn't want to tell anybody what was going on.
Yeah.
He didn't want to tell anybody. He wanted to stay off. Nobody's seen the signs. Nobody's seen. Well, he just don't want to be out. He just don't want to be in prison. No, there was something else there. Nobody cared what was really going on. And he was just doing. And he was just in there for a simple DWI. He wasn't in there for a sex crime. He wasn't in there for burglary. He wasn't in there for anything else but a simple DWI. He didn't have a wreck while he was driving drunk. He got a 5-year sentence for DWI, and his leg got blown off because he was trying to keep from being raped.
Gee.
So, and like I said, and out here in the civilian world, men are sexually harassed some might even be sexually assaulted. They just don't report it because of the fact is exactly what happened when I told you. You started laughing because it's not normal for a man to, because what do they say? Well, you can't rape the willing. Well, what if he's not willing?
Yeah, right.
Well, his thing shouldn't have been hard. The wind blows wrong and that thing goes up. It don't matter. So, but that's the initiative Oklahoma passed, is that the accused no longer have to face their accuser. And that's it.
I mean, I still
Go
think
ahead.
that should be the accuser's right, whether they did it or not. I mean, that's why they got the court system and all those people, That's what they're supposed to do, see who's lying and who's not.
Yeah. And that's why and there's a reason why founders put it in the Constitution, the right to face your accuser. Okay, there's a reason behind it. There was a lot of laws that there was a lot of people being arrested and back under the king, under England and stuff, the English law and all that, just because of accusations. And you never got to face your accuser, okay? And these people were executed, burnt at the stake. A lot of them were Protestant Christians that were writing the Bible in English, okay? And it was just anything. It was a bloody time during the Dark Ages. It was a bloody time. And so they put it in the Constitution to the right to face your accuser, because most of the time, and the way the founders looked at it, and it should be correct, and if the law is supposed to work on the side of the victim, if you committed the crime, then the accuser should have no problem coming up and facing you to put you in jail. But that's what Oklahoma passed. More about election news. We'll pick this up after the half hour. That we're fixing to go to break again. But
wow, that time went fast.
Yeah. Yeah, it did, didn't it? I'm in the same time zone as you, too. For now.
Oh.
What's that?
Where are you?
I'm in Indiana.
Oh. Is that like a desert?
Indiana? No.
Yeah. Oh.
Now, y'all see, she's thinking Indiana is a desert. Really?
Oh, Louisiana. No, Louisiana's swamps.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I was thinking of Arizona. Arizona's desert, right?
The bottom part of it, yeah. Yeah, most of it is until you get to right around Flagstaff. Then Flagstaff is all trees. It's like just like a green oasis, just flat right there in Flagstaff. And then you go about 30 miles south, 30 miles west, 30 miles east, and it turns into nothing but desert again.
And Nevada is desert, right?
Yeah. Yep. But anyway, if you're a truck driver, check out truckersdefense.com, truckersdefenseproducts.com. Check out a taser. Out here on the road, most of these 90% of the companies out here do not allow. Ouch, producer. You're doing dishes, ain't you?
No, I'm getting a cup of coffee.
Man, y'all hear how loud she is about getting coffee? Wow.
Don't ever be asleep while I'm up.
But check out Truckers Defense. 90% of the trucking companies do not allow you to carry firearms. Tasers are these are police style tasers. They have a 15-foot distance on them, and they're legal in 46 of the 50 states. And they're a great way to defend yourself, especially in some of the areas that we go to. I carry one. The Oklahoma Tomcat carries one. Our producer can't carry one because she lives in that statist communist state, New York. But you can still, only thing she's allowed to do if someone attacks her is pee on herself, and blow a rape whistle. So thank you to Bloomberg for all that. Just remember that if you're in New York, you cannot carry a taser. You have to carry a rape whistle and pee on yourself. So check out Truckers Defense Products. You can find us on Facebook, Truckers Defense Products. And our producer is going to take us to commercial.
The Liberty National Network.
Let's go inside the mind of a 10-year-old.
I should have worn those earrings today. I like those earrings. Gabby has those awesome earrings. I need to ask her where she got those, but that's just what she would want me to do. I'll have Michaela ask her for me.
Buckle up, Sarah.
Yeah, but then Michaela will be like, why don't you just ask her yourself? That's just like Michaela.
Sarah, buckle up.
Michaela's such a great name. I wish I was called Michaela. There's like a dozen Sarahs in my class.
Hey, we're not hitting the road until you buckle up, honey.
Oh yeah, seatbelt. I forget sometimes because my brain is like busy, you know? I wonder if there's pizza at school today.
Sometimes it can be tough to get through to your kids, but it's not impossible. Always make sure they're wearing their seatbelts, even on short drives. Remember, you have the keys, you have the power. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.
Horses are non-threatening. They're a majestic, magnificent creature. We see guys and gals find a great sense of inner peace and calmness as they start listening to the breathing of the horse, and they start grooming the horse, and they start being around the horse as much. Something magical starts happening with that connection that's hard to actually put into words, but it's palpable. You can feel it. You can feel that connection.
My name is Sterling Buckles, and I was a Lance Corporal with 2nd Battalion, 1st Marines, and I was injured in Operation Iraqi Freedom. I was actually hit in the head by a sniper bullet that penetrated through my helmet and collapsed the right side of my skull, and it was just a blessing that I survived it and got medevaced right away to Baghdad, where there was an Army brain surgeon. Gave me brain surgery to take all the fragments of the skull out of my brain and then put in 2 titanium plates. Coming back, I was diagnosed pretty much right away with 100% PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. And so, to say the least, life has been really difficult. Horses for Heroes program has been a real blessing to my life, to where now I feel like I have more of a purpose. That's a big thing coming back, is you were so important while you were serving in the military that you come back and you don't feel like you really have a purpose anymore in life, or that you're really behind the other 20-something-year-old people that, you know, had done other choices with their lives. If I come down here and I feel really anxious and just filled with anxiety and nervous, and, you know, I spend a little bit of time with the horse, it seems like the horse calms me down and my anxiety level just starts to really drop. So you're not really caring about yourself the whole time, but you're caring about something else really kind of gives me you know, a good sense of accomplishment. And at the end of the day, you're tired, but it's a good tired.
Hi, I'm Corinne, a student at Hillsdale College. Here is President of Hillsdale College, Dr. Larry Arnn, on the threat of bureaucratic despotism.
One of the chief sponsors of the Dodd-Frank Finance Reform Bill called that legislation, quote, about as important as it gets, because it deals with every single aspect of our lives, end quote. And how does this legislation deal with every aspect of our lives? In the most unconstitutional way. It sets up a board called the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which has the power to regulate our economic transactions independently of both the President and Congress. In other words, permanent government employees are placed in charge of us beyond the control of those we elect, the control of we the people. This is a violation of the representative form of government, without which there can be no constitutional government.
This Constitution Minute was brought to you by Hillsdale College. To receive a free pocket constitution and declaration, go to constitutionminute.com.
The Liberty National Network.
Travis Pope may sound like a big bad gorilla, but he is really a big cuddly teddy bear. You are listening to Political TNT on the Liberty National Network. If you want to be part of the show, dial 914-338-1906 and then press 1.
Oh, welcome back. I guess the Oklahoma Tomcat still is not with us.
Nope.
No.
He must have really lost service.
Yeah, and plus he's getting loaded. So, did I just...
Oh.
But anyways, it is what it is. Democrats took back over the House. Republicans gained 2 or 3 more seats in the Senate. So it is a divided House. We have the Democrats control the House, and we have the Republicans who control the Senate and the presidency. So this is going to be an interesting show in the next couple of years. is will the Democrats play ball? Will Trump play ball with the Democrats? It's going. I think it's going to be a big old tug of war. I don't think anything's going to ever get done.
No, it won't.
Democrats will come up and say, "Hey, we want this," and Trump say, "Well, I want that," and Democrats say, "Well, we're not going to do that," and Trump say, "I'm going to veto every one of your bills," which he could. He could very well do that, and this will effectively shut down the government. And technically, as a libertarian, I would veto both parties' bills, no matter what coming up there, just because I can. But if I was a Republican president, I would do that. I just veto all the bills that the Democrats bill. I would shut down the government. They don't have enough people. They don't have enough people to. The Democrats don't have enough people to override a veto unless they get Republicans to jump on board with them. That would be the only way they could override a veto is with, I think it's 2/3 of the vote. But by themselves, they don't have 2/3 majority to override a veto. So this we have officially entered into the lame duck session of Congress. So until the new Congress takes office in January, Trump and the Republicans better start doing whatever they got to do right now.
Yeah,
they haven't.
I'm not really familiar with all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, basically that Trump, the Republicans are still in power right now. They have not lost power until January, until the new Congress takes a seat. So, Republicans can do the damage that they can do right now before January gets here and the new Congress takes office. So they could pass they could very well pass the border wall bill, funding the border wall and allocate all the funds to it at one time and they can do they can do anything that Trump wants to get done right now by passing bills, and then once they leave office, anytime the Democrats try to reverse a bill or something like that, or try to do away with a bill, all he has to do is veto it. I mean, there's certain ways around it if you can get the Republicans on board with it. Am I still there?
Yep, you're still there. I'm just listening.
You're too quiet. Bernie Sanders made it to the Senate. He's under the Pink Party. I guess that's what it is, the Pink Party. And your people go, well, what is the Pink Party? The vagina cap wearing suckers that run around in the streets. Vagina cap liberals running around the streets. The Pink Party.
Oh, my goodness. Wasn't he running for something before?
Well, he was running for president.
That's what it was, president.
Yeah. But Beto, going back to Texas, Beto O'Rourke, or Francis O'Rourke, that's his real name, is Francis. I was looking at and it's crazy. I was looking at the voting map of Texas in real time last night of Beto O'Rourke.
Yeah.
And you know what I noticed? On the voting sections of Irishman Francis O'Rourke, who claims to be Hispanic by taking on the name of Beto. But you know what I noticed about the election map last night in real time?
What?
All of his votes were coming in on the border. All on the border of Texas. The border of Texas and Mexico. Why is that? Let me see if I can pull up that. Let me see if I can pull up the map. There it is. There it is. They're all the border towns. That's kind of odd. I didn't realize that let me see. Let me find him up here again. There it is. I didn't realize there's 4 million people living on the border of Texas.
Me neither.
I did not realize that. Kind of disturbing.
Why?
So, and that's kind of disturbing if that's because that means um, 4 million and I've been to these border towns down there, and it's just really odd to me that 4 million liberals live on the border of Texas. I do know what lives down there on the border of Texas. But that's where you get most of your illegal immigrants are down there on the border. I do know that, and I do know that the large part of those towns down there are ran by illegal immigrants. Some of them are legal immigrants, but I'm not going to be blind about it. So that's what we're looking at right there in Texas. It was a fight last night. It was definitely a fight.
I'm still upset about Cuomo being in there.
Well, he ain't going anywhere until he resigns or until he serves out his terms. Or he can do what Bloomberg did. Bloomberg could change, Bloomberg changed the laws while he was in there so he could serve longer. And then when he got ready to retire, he had the laws changed back where they could only serve a certain term. But what's to prevent the next governor to come back and change those same laws to where he can stay in as long as he wants until he gets tired of being up there? That's y'all's corruption up there. Y'all got to deal with that. I can't believe y'all allow that.
Oklahoma Tomcat don't have a phone.
He don't have a phone.
Yeah, it's not charging properly.
Oh, that's not good.
No, it's not. That's terrible.
That's what he gets for having an Obama phone. Some of the key states last night, Georgia, let me pull up the states again. I'm looking at everything here. Georgia. Stacey Adams lost last night, which that's good. What was that?
What?
Oh, I thought you said something. Stacey Abrams, the Democrat that is the Georgia Socialist Democrat. She lost in Georgia last night. And that was a close race too, against Brian Kemp. Brian Kemp won 50.5% of the votes, 1,962,547 votes.
Wow.
So that was a close race because she got 1,887,161 votes. That was a close race.
Wow.
Ted Mintz, who ran on the Libertarian ticket in Georgia, he only got 36,000 votes. Not even 1% of the votes. He got 0.9%.
Who was that?
His name is Ted Metz. Like I said, he ran for the Libertarian ticket in Georgia.
Oh.
Okay, let's go back to your state, New York. New York, New York. In New York.
Why do they even have an election in New York when every time it's Cuomo?
Well, it hasn't been every time. You know, there was Bloomberg before Cuomo.
How long ago was that?
The last election.
Oh. Well, all I know is I don't like this guy.
Yeah. Let's see. Larry Sharp, Libertarian. He got 90,000 votes, 1.6% out of 5.5 million votes. Let's see. Who else let's go back to Florida. The governor race. Oh, we didn't have no libertarians fighting in Florida. But Ron DeSantis won that with 4 million votes. That one, again, was a close race.
Uh-oh. There he is. You there?
Yep. You hung up on me. See that? Our producer hung up on me when I was talking about New York. She's so distraught. She is so distraught about Cuomo that she hung up on me. Wow. Florida was a real close race. 49.7% for the winner and 49% for the loser. That was a really close race right there.
Mhm.
But libertarians, it's not time to give up. It's not time to lay down and cry. We need to double down and get back out there and fight and get more people. We have to sell people on our values. We can't go out there and sell people on division of, attacking the other party of how stupid they are. Even though they're stupid, we can't sell that to them. Well, what we need to sell is liberty. We need to make the argument for liberty and sell liberty. And we still need to go door to door. I mean, libertarians, that's one of the things that libertarians have a problem with, is that they wait until right about election time before they start going out and knocking on doors. We're a brand new party. We're not really brand new. We're just now getting ground. That's really what the deal is that we're just now gaining ground. And until we get an actual good, strong foothold where we become a threat, we can't stop. just because election season's over. We have to get out and we have to constantly fight, and we have to keep spreading our message. We'll do better in spreading our message by teaching our message, you know. And with that, we're gonna have to go to our next break. Man, this is going by quick, and I'm doing it by myself with giggles in the background.
I know. All right.
The Liberty National Network.
Where do you want to go to lunch? I'm having a stroke. Did you hear what I said? I'm having a stroke. Why aren't you answering me? I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F. Face drooping. A. Arm weakness. S. Speech difficulty. T. Time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
The oldest existing human that we know of is the 5,300-year-old body of a man, frozen in ice, that was uncovered by climbers in the Italian Alps in 1991. His name is Ötzi, the Iceman, and aside from being extremely well preserved, he was remarkable for another reason: the 61 tattoos that adorned his body. For as long as we've been on the planet, humankind has marked their bodies to commemorate important events, imply meaning, or signify value. Everything from a sailor's inscription of a lost lover's name to the tribal markings of indigenous peoples denoting a ceremony or achievement reminds us that using permanent markings can be one of the clearest ways to show what's meaningful to us. As it turns out, we aren't the only ones who do this. God does too. Listen to this powerful verse in Isaiah. See, I have engraved you on the palms of my hands. That verse is part of a passage where God reminds his people that he has not forgotten them, even during an extended period of captivity. And while the most important part may seem to be the fact that God has engraved or tattooed the name of his people on his body, it's worth considering where that engraving occurs: his hands. A lot has changed in the lives of human beings over the years, but we still use our hands for nearly every daily task imaginable. We look at them hundreds, maybe even thousands of times each day. The implication here is powerful, that our names are never out of God's sight. I want us to think about that. If your own life's commitments were to be written on your hands, what would they be? Work, school, your career? Or would they be the names of people in your life, family members, friends, and those inside or outside of your church community? It's often easy to lose sight of what matters amidst the hustle and bustle of our lives, but I think this verse and the principle it embodies ought to be a powerful reminder to all of us of two things: to put first things first in our lives, and remind us of our Heavenly Father's love for us. I want you to picture his hands right now, the same hands that knit the galaxies together, and then picture your own name, tattooed in his skin. Powerful, isn't it? Our God has marked us into his heart as permanently as ink sets into our skin. We are always in his mind, always in his eyes, and always in his heart. I'm Joseph Tkach, speaking of life.
Hi, I'm Joy, a student at Hillsdale College. Here is President of Hillsdale College, Dr. Larry Arnn, on why the Constitution limits government.
James Madison writes in Federalist 51 that men are not angels. Their passions and self-interest often get the better of their reason and sense of justice. So we need government in order to protect our rights against those who would take them away. But for the same reason, Madison writes, government must be limited. because people in government have passions and interests too. Many Americans today forget this, supposing that we can do away with constitutional limits on government, supposing that the unelected bureaucrats being put in charge of our health care, for example, will rule as if they are angels. If Madison was correct about human nature, this is foolish and dangerous.
This Constitution Minute was brought to you by Hillsdale College. To receive a free pocket Constitution and Declaration, go to constitutionminute.com.
The Oklahoma Tomcat thinks he is a big tough cat, but he is actually as harmless as a kitten. You are listening to Political TNT on the Liberty National Network. If you want to be part of the show, dial 914-338-1906 and then press 1.
Am I back? Oh, there I am. There's the unmute sound.
We're on.
Welcome back. Well, I do want to share one story before I go into the trucking section real quick. There was a confirmation that right before elections, 115 Facebook accounts were blocked with a coordinated inauthentic behavior ahead of midterm elections. My Facebook account was one of those accounts.
Oh, no way.
Because, yeah, I was my Facebook account was banned for 30 days. The ones have where I can pay for political ads and everything like that. It was blocked for 30 days. It's probably unblocked now because I heard that everybody's working just fine this morning. But like I said, my page was blocked. It was banned for 30 days. And for no apparent reason. They said hate speech. And I said, well, what hate speech? There was no proof of any type of hate speech. They just said, well, it's hate speech. I appealed it 3 times, and on the 3rd time, they made it where I couldn't appeal it again, and that I'm still on block for 30 days.
Wow.
So, but that is Facebook blocked 115 accounts in a coordinated inauthentic behavior. My account that they blocked for 30 days, they actually what they call memorialized it. You know what that means?
No.
When somebody dies or passes away, and Facebook finds out about it, they will memorialize that account where nobody can log into that account ever. And basically they're saying you died.
Oh, wow.
And it took me a little bit to get that one back. I had to send them a picture of me holding my driver's license up, and a selfie with a picture of me with my driver's license, and send it to them to unlock it. And that took a couple of days to do. But It's unlocked. It's unlocked. I can sign back into it, but it's still banned for the 30 days. So not only did they ban me, they killed me. Facebook literally assassinated me for 2 days. Now to the trucking section. Truck drivers. Guess what a court ruled just recently?
Uh-oh.
Court ruled, yeah. court rules that truckers must be paid minimum wage, even when they're not driving. So basically, according to the court ruling, as long as I'm in this truck, I get paid minimum wage. I guess that even after, it really depends. If I'm supposed to be paid in this truck, while I'm in this truck minimum wage, after 40 hours, it's overtime. So 7 days, 7 days, 7 days, being in this truck 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. After 40 hours, it's overtime. That's $1,682 and 64 cents a week that I'm supposed to be paid while I'm in this truck 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Oh, wow. Is that good? That shouldn't be too bad, right?
Yeah, well, that's not really bad, because like I said, being in the truck, I'm in this truck 24/7. Well, I'm basically, according to the judge, I'm on duty while I'm out here 24/7. Even if I go inside the truck stop and stuff like that, I'm still responsible for this load in this truck. So basically, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, I'm supposed to be on clock, being paid, even when I'm asleep. So that's $1,682.64 that I'm supposed to get paid on a weekly basis. I did the math. Now the article said that we're supposed to be paid for 16 hours. Okay. If it's 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, minimum wage plus overtime is $1,073.36 a week.
Wow, really?
Yep.
Oh, I want to become a truck driver.
A federal court ruling that took place in Arkansas late last month could totally transform the way that truck drivers are paid. On October 19th, the United States District Court in the Western District of Arkansas ruled against PAM Transport in a case related to minimum wage pay for commercial drivers, while commercial vehicle drivers. The judge refused PAM Transport's request to dismiss a 2016 class action suit involving approximately 3,000 truck drivers. The suit argues that PAM Transportation violated federal labor laws and minimum wage requirements when they failed to pay their drivers for the total number of hours worked. By refusing to dismiss the lawsuit, the court has upheld the federal minimum wage upheld the notion that truck drivers ought to be paid the federal minimum wage of $7.25 for 16 hours per day, meaning all of the time spent in the truck except for 8 hours of sleep. Okay, that's our 16 hours a day except for 8 hours of sleep.
Oh, wow.
The court's ruling indicates that time spent in the sleeper berth could count as work even if that time is considered to be off duty. So it could change to 24 hours if I'm in the sleeper berth. If I switch over to off duty, not driving, okay, I'm supposed to be getting paid for being off duty.
Because you're not really off duty. That makes sense.
Yeah. What they're saying is after going off duty, because a lot of times we'll get to the shipper and we can go off duty if we're at the shipper, okay, when we're getting loaded. But when we take our breaks, our 10-hour breaks, we're supposed to go into the sleeper. That sleeper time is not considered paid time. So once you get into the sleeper, you're not supposed to be accounted for 8 hours in the sleeper. So according to what they're saying, is 16 hours a day I'm supposed to be paid minimum wage.
Right.
And that's the federal court ruling, federal district court ruling in the matter, is that now truck drivers are supposed to be paid minimum wage, $7.25 an hour.
Wow, that's kind of low.
Yeah, but you realize though is that it's 16 hours a day, seven days a week, which turns out to be, like I said, $1,073.36 a week. So that could change a lot of stuff right there.
Well, that's awesome. That's how I think it. You know, the whole time that you're on the truck and not like literally home, you should get paid for it anyway.
Yeah. But that's the ruling there now. Man, looks like I'm gonna get to the shipper just at the same time as the show is ready to be ended. Well, this worked out good.
Oklahoma Tomcat.
Yeah, I'm 15 minutes away from the shipper, and they got 15 minutes left of the show. But that's the federal court ruling now, is that truck drivers should be paid minimum wage while they're out here on the road. Any of our truck drivers want to call in and talk about that, will our producer please give out the call-in phone number?
914-338-1906.
So, and like I said, that's the federal minimum wage. I don't know how I really feel about that, because some weeks that would probably be good whenever I'm not making that amount. And that, a lot of times that depends on loads and stuff, or the shippers. But some weeks I make nearly some weeks I make almost a little over $1,500, $1,600 a week. So
wow.
You know, so reducing me down to minimum wage could possibly help, but it could also hurt too.
Yeah.
You know, so on a regular basis, I probably make about $1,200 a week on a regular basis. and that just depends on how the load. And it's not because I'm not running the miles; it's just how the loads land. Some weeks I don't get very much. Some weeks, mainly when I go home for a break, when I get tired of being out here for so long, I'll request to go home. And well, when I go home, when I come off of home time, that is normally my low paycheck is when I come off of home time. And that's normally about 1,600 miles when I come off of home time, which is only about $600 that week. And normally, when that happens, I stay out here for another 6 weeks to get my checks back up before I go back home.
Yeah.
Because our checks are held 1 week at a time, 2 weeks. Our checks are held for 2 weeks. So when when I come out that week, it'll be 3 weeks before I get that check. So normally I stay out long enough to get that check back in order before I get back out, before I go back home. Which normally takes about 6 weeks.
So you don't get a check every week? It's just like every other week?
No, I get a check every week, but they hold a week when we first started.
Oh, I see.
So like this week, the check I'm working on this week, I won't get for 2 weeks.
Oh.
You know, and that's just the way they do it over here. It all depends on the company. Some companies they pay every 2 weeks. And I hate that.
Yeah, I get paid every 2 weeks, and I hate it.
Yeah. Yeah, I hate. Back when I worked for the prison, I got paid once a month.
Oh, wow.
Yep. When I worked for the prison, I got. Yeah. Yeah. When I worked for the prison, I got paid once a month. But over here I get paid every week, but they held a week on me when I first started, so it was 2 weeks before I got my first paycheck here. Woo! Excuse me, y'all.
Oh man, bless you.
I'm near Chicago. I'm allergic to Chicago. Yeah, I'm here in Chicago, near Chicago, and it's I feel another one coming on. But anyways, I'm fixing to come up to my shipper here. We're pretty much close to the end of the show, anyways. You want to go ahead and end it for us, and we will see. Today is what, Wednesday? We will talk on to y'all. When's our next show? Friday?
Friday.
All righty, we'll get it all. If you want to get that show set up for us, we'll see y'all Friday.
See you Friday.
Bye.